Hello, and welcome back to the Geek Day podcast. We turn your weekday into a geek day. I am one of your hosts, Rob, and with me today I have my co-host, Mr. Alex Moon.
That's me. Robert, do you think that Sonic the Hedgehog, like, do you think he changes his socks ever? Or do you think he's always just wearing his same stinky blue socks from those disgusting blue meaty sausages?
So, for me, at least, looking at a picture of Sonic, right? If we're taking this really into consideration, the most important part of this conversation, this podcast, right? It to me, it looks like when you look at a picture of him that his shoes are like kind of sock-y. Like it looks like the top part is a sock, but it doesn't have any separation between, the shoe part. So it kind of
Mm-hmm.
looks like they're slip-on shoes. So
So
I think
you're
like
you're insinuating that Sonic's whole shoe, there's no separate sock. The whole shoe is one piece and it looks like a sock, but it's a high top looking shoe.
very much so, yes.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Because I don't think his socks
Now,
are blue. Because like that's just his fur, right?
yeah, well, but I would think like he takes them off and they're well, I don't know. Because do brown people take off their socks and their white socks are brown? No, they don't. So that's racist on my end. I'm sorry, Sonic. But with that being said, I do have dogs that they get on white towels and the towel will be brown and they're brown dogs. But is that just because the dog is dirty? I don't know. But I raise you. I've read books with my child of Sonic from the 80s, like actual picture books. And Sonic does indeed have socks under those red sneakers. So I don't know. I would like to dive into this more, but Robert, how are you doing?
You are truly one of the brightest minds of this generation. I am doing quite well. I feel like my brain has been so fried lately because there has just been so much going on, like content wise, in my life.
Hmm.
Obviously, we have the Spurs in the playoffs right now. Never been a big Spurs fan, so I'm jumping on that bandwagon. Obviously, and because like when I was a kid that was a huge thing, right? It was me.
Yeah.
I love watching the Spurs game. As I was getting older, I was like, I like the theater. I can't do that. And then now immediately I was like, I started watching the Spurs at the beginning of the playoffs, and I was like, oh yeah, I really enjoy it. And then me and my wife slowly getting more and more into it, right? Until now, finally, I've drank the Kool Aid. I'm enjoying it. I'm watching every single game, and after last night's crushing defeat, I feel awful. So I have that going on as well as
You did the actual like 1 day of watching the Spurs, 2 days of watching the Spurs,
dead ass. I own
and
three
then just
Spurs shirts now. So
and then you come in, put on the Spurs.
and then obviously the most important thing. I know we are a superhero nerdy podcast, right?
That would
Disregard
be
that for a moment. Uh, I've been just absolutely loving Love Island so far this season. So it has literally been like, unfortunately, finishing the Spurs game, which sometimes ends at 10 p.m., right? And then
mhm.
immediately going into Love Island right afterwards, which is usually about an
That's
hour,
wild.
hour and a half. So I've been going to bed at like midnight every other day and then having to work the next morning. And work's been awful. So it's just been like content, 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 sleep for 3 hours, wake up, work, content, content. Um, but yeah, that's been my life lately.
I love that for you, genuinely. I'm very happy that your life is Spurs and ass, and that is, I think, the dream of all men in San Antonio, Texas. So
Not to even mention, Alex, today the World Cup started. So during work, I was watching the Mexico game, which shout out Viva Mexico, we won. But I've been so TV pilled lately that it's going to be very surprising when we talk about some of our major stuff going on that we've gone into this week, nerdy wise. But I want to ask you. Obviously, we didn't have a show last week or
yes,
the
sir.
week before because you did a very major move. So what's been going on with you over there, man?
Oh man, so we moved out to Illinois, and it's been a hectic move. It's a little stressful, but it's fun overall. It's really fun. Um, I am in another in between point right now where, kind of like previously, we moved out of the apartment. We're staying at an in between place. Then we moved. We're at the next in between place, and right now my life consists of waking up in the morning, hanging out with the wife and daughter because my wife, Mrs. Moon, she's got a job down here, but she doesn't start for a few more weeks. So that's very great. But I mean, great that she has a job, but not great that she's having to wait a little bit. But um, every day I wake up, I film content, I hang out with my girls, and then we go look at houses in the evening. That's like what we're doing every day because we're purchasing a home over here, which is really fun. That process has been really cool, but it's definitely been hectic. But outside of that, I've been making sure, for me personally, that I've been keeping up with my nerdy stuff, trying to be in the news as much as I can. The one thing I haven't been able to do that I honestly am kicking myself in the head, that I haven't been able to go, but I really want to see Masters of the Universe. We're gonna be talking about it. I know you've had the opportunity to see it, so I'm really interested to see how you feel about it. But I've That's probably the only thing nerd wise that I haven't been able to keep up with. But I've been, keeping up with my reading. I think the only thing I'm behind on right now is I'm behind like 3 issues of Iron Man, and I have them
Mm,
sitting there. I just haven't read them. But this week, I know we're going to talk about it a bit, but this week picked up the new Avengers, Armageddon, um, and they came with a little card as well for the
nice.
like a promo Magic the Gathering thing. Picked up the new Daredevil, which is dope. I think this is probably the best issue so far that we've had of Daredevil. Picked up the new Bishop,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
and actually really enjoyed that. I'm super hyped to read the rest of it. And of course, we're gonna be talking about not only Avengers but Absolute Catwoman in a little bit. But I've been keeping up with my reading, still, on a tear with that. Reading a bunch of stuff on Marvel Unlimited. Actually, recently just reread Static, year one or season one. A great reread. I absolutely love Static. But yeah, I've been, it's been going crazy. But also thank you guys for the gifts in the chat right there. I just saw. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. And I know we're gonna get into some of the other things we've been watching and stuff here in a moment. Um, Static season one is fire. I see here in the chat. It is. It is. Static
I
season
need to
one
check
is
it out.
Robert.
It's one of the DC compacts, right?
It is. It is. I was
Okay.
just about to say it's in DC Compact. Next time you're out, I know Heroes of Fantasies was selling it.
Hmm.
So you should be able to pick up from there if you're ever in that area. I don't know if the Alien Worlds that we typically frequent has that one, um, yeah, it's a great story. And if you're even remotely familiar with the old TV show, it's a lot of the same rhythm, but it's new beats, and I like that. It's not like, hey, let's just give you, it's not Amazing Spider-Man to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 1. Like they do
Okay.
change up the story a little bit. And I do like that. But yeah, definitely if you get a chance, check that out. Um, but now that I'm here alone by myself, we knew
I'm back.
Robert. Well, sometimes I feel like I can still hear his voice. Um,
Let's
you
go ahead and
know,
jump into our
I
first topic.
Do y'all hear him? Go ahead, Rob.
So our first one of the day, Alex, I have been living. As I've gotten older, I've given less of a shit about spoilers. Right? We're not going to talk about these things, obviously, the nitty gritty deep into these things. But there have been some brand new day leaks, which
And we're
surprised.
talking about the leaks, everyone, but we're not going to say what the leaks are.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
So you
don't
do
run.
not need to leave. You don't have to
Yeah.
run away or hide. We're going to be talking about the
And sometimes it feels like I'm here alone by myself. And if you really just listen, you can't hear Robert, but you can feel the memory of Robert, you know. Um there was this one time where when we were younger, Robert, when he was still alive, he
I don't
would,
know
oh,
why I keep disappearing. I
hey,
don't
there
know
you
why
are.
I keep getting Thanos snapped away. So that's my bad, y'all. I guess.
It was Sony. They heard that you were about to talk about
Yeah.
Spider-Man leaks. They were like,
There's a red dot actually coming through my window right now. But yes, leaks have come out. We're not going to be talking about that. We're talking about the idea of the leaks and kind of maybe lightly tapping on the idea of what's in them overall.
Yeah.
But Alex, uh, did you see any of the leaks? Did you look deeper into it, or were you more just like, oh, I know of them?
The only I haven't looked heavily into the leaks, I'll be honest with you, mainly because I'm trying to preserve my experience when I go see this movie. Now, I will be totally honest with you. I did go on X and look for the leaked new trailer because there was a
Mm,
trailer that was leaked that had like that big old X on it, and people were like editing it, try to take the X out. I did go track that down because I did want to see the trailer, but I know, as far as what's in the leaks, like I know one of the things we're going to touch on is apparently the full movie is out somewhere and people are trying to auction it off and sell it. And it's an unfinished version of the movie,
hmm
kind of like an X-Men Origins Wolverine thing back in the day, where that movie got fully leaked online pre-viz. So I didn't go out and look for it. I don't want to. And honestly, what really fucking sucks is I know it's out there. I'm not looking for it. I know the moment that we get high res images of anything, it's just gonna pop up on Twitter. It's just gonna
hmm
pop up on threads. It's just gonna be on fucking TikTok. And that's the part that sucks. Right now, I have the ability to be like, I'm not gonna search it out. I'm not gonna go pay someone, however much money it is to watch it. But I'm probably gonna get spoiled at some point. But Robert, how did you feel about the leaks? Because this isn't the first time
hmm
that we've had leaks regarding this movie. We had the merchandise leak, the first trailer leaked, and then they had to redo a whole new trailer. Um, so I don't know. How do you feel about these constant leaks, and are you worried about your experience with Spider-Man?
So I'll also start with like what I did see because, like I said, I don't really give a shit about spoilers, but I'm not going to say anything obviously
Mhm.
here. I did see the toy spoiler that was given out, as well as I did see that someone tried to auction off the entire like unfinished movie, which is absolutely wild to me. But overall, like I also agree with you, definitely not going to search anything up. It's going to pop up anyways, and I'm a part of the Marvel movie rumors subreddit, so I'm going to see it. But just the idea overall of just these leaks, man, it sucks. It truly sucks. One, all the people that put all that work into to making this movie and trying to give us the best final version of this movie, and especially that we know it's going to be 2 hours and 30 minutes long, the longest Spider-Man movie that it's going to be, as well as this is the director's first chance at it. This is Tom Holland coming back and having a bit more of a say on it. It really just like rubs me the wrong way that, of course, this is happening. I think the spoiler stuff, I think the need for spoilers is ruining the hobby of just like watching movies and having these discussions
Mm-hmm.
so much because it's like it ruins the speculation of what we can have. How many times have we all talked about what Sadie Sink's character is going to be? Why is Tarantula there? Like, these are conversations that we get to have day in, day out, week in, week out until a movie finally comes out, as well as when the movie does fully leak online, right? That it's like, okay, well, I saw it, so I don't really need to see the full thing. And of course, even if I did that, I would want to go see it still in theaters to one support, and two and see it like in a better way, like full
Yeah.
res, overall. It just really ticks me off that this happens. It's just weird because we had a different conversation before we started the show today. But this to me specifically, I think it's just more of the idea of like hard work going to like it's really showing just a half-assed version of the movie, and man,
Mm-hmm.
that just really sucks. Alex, how do you feel about it?
No, I agree with you, and I know we're kind of having like you said, a different conversation about a different medium, and sometimes getting leaked or what have you. But for me, the thing that really stinks with this is like let me give you an example. If, for example, if the next issue of Avengers Armageddon gets leaked online, how many people are going to see that? How many people are going to pass by the leak and might just not look at it in an Instagram story or an X post or whatever? but how many people, like your grandma's gonna go see Spider-Man, you know what I mean? So like it just stinks, and there is a certain type of fan who wants to know things just to know things. Like I know there are people that are looking for these leaks just to be like, and I'm not saying this is one of them, but just for example, there are people looking for these leaks so they can be like, I knew Wolverine was in the movie before. And again, I'm not saying that's one of them. I'm just throwing out a random crazy thing. And that just stinks. It stinks. But also, with that being said, what is Sony doing that we keep getting these goddamn leaks? And it's and I'm trying to determine if this is Sony specific, because we had leaks for Morbius when it was coming out. We had leaks for these other Spider-Man films when they were coming out. What does Sony do? Are they all using Gmail? What the fuck is happening that we keep getting leaks? And even more so, I know maybe this is also on Sony, but the Insomniac leaks happened for the Spider-Man video games. And that makes me feel, oh, does that have anything to do with it? Because Sony's wrapped up in the Spider-Man games too? I don't know. It could be something totally different. But either way, what are these companies doing? Like, I don't, it just, what about Sony in particular that this keeps being a problem with Sony? Like, I don't, the duct tape that is holding your servers together is not working. So somehow people are getting in, somehow people are hacking emails, or I don't get it at all.
Yeah,
But
and to sorry, I was gonna cut him
no, no,
real
go ahead.
quick about but the whole Sony thing. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's just Sony, and they're doing their marketing thing again. They're leaking X, Y, and Z." I don't think that this is Sony. I don't think this is their marketing idea. I think maybe in the beginning it might have been some sort of sort of thing. They might have saw
Yeah.
something. This one for sure is this one's not marketing. And even then, having that idea start to kind of like permeate through the media sphere or whatever, it's starting to like really normalize the idea of kind of data mining or hacking into these places and be like, well, now it's just marketing, like these leaks are just like bringing it out there, so it's normalized. It's like, no, I mean, like, I think even companies, unless they're doing something very problematic, deserve even their privacy. So it's like, come on, like let's all be patient. Let's all spend our $15, which is an absolutely crazy amount of money for a movie ticket nowadays, to go sit down and watch this movie. Like it's just absolutely insane to me that this continues to happen. Like they need to invest in like something. Sony's also even the company that they got threatened by North Korea when the dictator came out. If you
Mhm.
not the dictator, oh my god, what is it? The interview came
The
out
interview,
with,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's like, dude, like fix whatever you're doing, because like if you're getting just like bold faced like threats like that, that shows how easy it is to get into your organization.
No, 100%. I don't know. I'm hoping not too many people get affected by it. I'm seeing here in the comments we have L saying, "I try to avoid the leaks. I mute certain groups and people to avoid them." Yeah, and that stinks because there are a lot of media outlets, those pages that report it like it's news. We'll just start posting the fucking leaks, and it's like, who does that help? It doesn't help anybody's experience. You know what I mean? And then we have over here again. I love the fandom hype build up for a Spider-Man movie, but let's watch the movie and be patient. Oh, 100%. That's part of it. You know what I mean? Like the hype for the film pays off when you see the film, not when you get some ripped version online. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm hoping again doesn't affect too many people's experience with the movie. And I for one am excited to see it. I'm gonna be there day one. I hope I don't get anything spoiled. I, don't have the luxury to mute everything because, like me and you, like we look at the news, we read stuff. I'm really hoping nothing gets spoiled, but I'm also preparing myself to probably get something fucking spoiled for me.
Yeah.
But
And I'm sure you're gonna send me something. Like you'll send me like, hey, did you hear this? And I'm like, okay. And then I immediately go look for it.
wild, wild. No,
Yeah.
I remember last year. I forgot what movie it was. Oh, it was Dead. This wasn't last year. I think it was 2 years ago. But Deadpool and Wolverine was coming out, and I remember I was just scrolling TikTok, and then I hear the music and I see Wesley Snipes walk out, and I was
Hmm.
like, "Fuck!" And then I was like, "This is bullshit." And then my wife texted me and she was like, "Fuck, I just got something spoiled for me." It just happens all the time, and I
Yeah.
don't get it. And that was like on the day the movie was dropping. Like there wasn't even an opportunity to see it before that. So, but anyway, Rob, enough about Spider-Man. What else do we got going on in the world that hopefully isn't as shitty as people data mining Sony?
Oh, absolutely. I want to talk about Masters of the Universe. This is a movie that we have been talking about for quite a while. Even you also even said that you believe that this movie will make more than or as much as Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I did say it
Uh,
was going to be a sleeper hit, and I thought it was going to
yes.
be, crazy box office.
But I will say, after the conversation, I started looking more into it. I got a little more hyped about it, and finally, Joe and I we bought tickets. We went to go see it together. It took a kind of a convincing, bit of of convincing to get her to go see the movie.
What a game.
Because who? I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this. Who cares about He-Man? Like, who cares about Masters of
Okay,
the
first
Universe?
off, Robert,
Unless you're
as someone
45
who's
years
in
old.
sales, you need to know your audience
Uh
because there's a hot woman right there, or there's an oiled up hot naked man.
huh.
So there's two ways you can do it, and then also there's Jared Leto. So that could talk someone in or out of it. But anyway, tell me,
Yeah.
tell me.
So I went into there with very low expectations, and I was like, man, this movie is either going to be like moderately okay or like really bad. That's really the only way that I was thinking about going into this movie. And I'm happy to say, Alex, that this movie is completely okay. It is. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great time to go like sit down and have fun. Do not take this movie too seriously. Do not go in there expecting like Barbie, which is really funny because this is like the second Mattel movie that's being made, right? So
I
Barbie is
almost
like a what's
sorry.
up?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was like, Barbie is like, the first attempt at that, right? Where it's like, hey, we're gonna do something really different with this overall like title. We're gonna make a feminist movie about Barbie. Masters of the Universe is Masters of the Universe, brother. Like going in there, it is such a really cool, funny, fun experience that I got to have. It's very funny. The I'm going to tell you right now that some of the effects, like the CG, the practical effects that are in this movie, are absolutely fantastic. It is
Really?
some of
Okay.
the best stuff that I've seen in years.
Ooh,
Very
I'm hyped.
close to. Some of the stuff that James Gunn has done, as well as the stuff that I've seen for the Mandalorian and Grogu,
Mm,
these very practical effects of like, hey, you see an alien, you see like the person that is dressed up in this costume as an alien, and it looks fantastic. The makeup is great, the music is great, it is shot fantastic. I cannot wait until Tyler Knight, the director of this movies, gets called up to the MCU, because there's a scene at the end that his cinematic action choreography is just fantastic.
really? Oh,
It hits like comic book levels where I'm like, oh man, like this rules. Now I will say that there are some negatives to this movie.
tell me.
I do not think every joke hits. There are definitely moments where I'm like, that should be funny, and they're even waiting in the movie for you to like laugh over this line. Does not hit.
Oh,
Um,
damn. They they
so
they, they do the da 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 line.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Oh
where they
no.
cut around, like kind of like looking around, like, oh man, this guy. There's
I
definitely
hear
some
you.
moments that are in that movie, but it is. I honestly think that's really the only thing that I did not like about it. There were some like just really weird performances when it comes to the comedy, but I do think that the cast is fantastic.
How
Camila
is Jared?
Mendez, surprisingly, this to me, I know Jared Leto is an Oscar winner for Dallas Buyers Club, right? This is my favorite role that Jared Leto has ever done, uh,
Including Dallas Buyers Club.
including Dallas Buyers Club. He
Look, I
is
want to
a
say real
fantastic
quick.
Skeletor.
Real. So I think people give Jared Leto way too much credit. I think he was
Mhm.
great in Dallas Buyers Club, but name me when he was great again after that. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, like so. It's great to hear that this is a role that hopefully he's having fun in.
Apparently, he was a very massive Masters of the Universe fan, and
Oh,
so
okay.
if you've seen any of the trailers or anything like that, It does not do him justice. I also think that he
I was
is
about to
the
say the trailers don't show shit about Skeletor. Like it made me think he was a third act villain, and we don't see him at all.
he's very present the entire movie.
That's exciting. That's
So
exciting.
he's fantastic. He looks great. Like what you see in the trailer, how he looks just a little bit better in the movie. I think he is like the perfect case for you to like see practically effects that he's wearing this like purple muscle suit as well as they digitally like completely replace the face with the skull. It's just fantastic. He does amazing. I think honestly the weakest person in this entire movie, and it's gonna suck, is
Is
Allison
He-Man?
Brie. No,
Oh, okay,
is
okay.
Allison Brie as Evil Lynn. She is very out of place here. The entire time I'm like, Allison Brie, what are you doing? But which is weird because she's great on Community as a comedic actress.
Hmm.
But she is in a completely different, I guess, like acting echelon than the rest. This movie made me very excited to see what else I don't know his last name. Uh,
I
uh,
don't remember either.
yeah, him and Camila Mendez to see them kind of rise up a little bit more because man, they both did really fantastic in this movie. Do you have any questions about overall? Because I see L in the chat saying I'm so excited for this movie. I see it next week. If you have any questions about it, feel free to shoot them to me because I really loved it.
I'll tell you, you've gotten me more excited for it. And unfortunately, He-Man has come out in the middle of the move, and it's been really hectic, so we haven't had a chance to run away to see it. I want to hopefully this weekend try to go out and see it, but man, that just makes me more excited for it. And for me, I know you said like this isn't the next Barbie movie or anything like that. I'm glad because I don't think it needs to be. Whenever people go like, well, Transformers is lowbrow humor, and I'm like, it's a movie to sell robots. Like, what do you
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, so to hear that it's fun, it's a good time. There's some great action in it. If some of the jokes don't land, that's fine. That's fine. I've seen Jonah Hill movies, so you know
I think it does a
I'm
really good
excited.
job with like poking fun at itself, with especially the names that of like the people like Ram Man, and like I don't want to say any more of that, but of the other ones because they were really great jokes, especially if you're like me and didn't know a lot about Masters of the Universe. That there are really great jokes about like the just like the crazy names for the characters in Masters Universe. But I think if I had to like kind of wrap this up with a T, to give it a grade, I think I would give it a B minus.
Okay,
Yeah, so
it's not
it's
bad.
good. It's
Not
not bad.
bad.
Not bad. Not
Not bad
bad.
at all.
Yeah. So Alex, I want to jump immediately into the show that you've watched and you've been telling me a lot about. And I know we had Brain in the chat over here talking about it, but it's going to be Spider Noir.
Mhm.
You've been talking to me a lot about this for a couple of weeks now. I've been trying to get me to watch it. And eventually, I'm going to watch it because I love Spider Man. I love
Yeah,
Nicolas Cage, and I love oh my god, what's his name? The guy Winston from New Girl.
from New Girl. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember his name, but yes, I know
um,
you're talking.
I love him also. Tell me a little bit about Spider Noir.
Well, first off, Robert, I'll tell you. As much as I'm talking about it, I have not finished it fully.
Oh, okay.
I think I have 2 episodes left. There's 8 altogether. Um, but and that's gonna bring me to my kind of cons about the show. Again, I haven't finished it, but man, is it so fucking good. It's so good. From the first episode, the Spider-Man Noir, or well, Spider Noir. Sorry, it's not Spider-Man Noir. It's Spider Noir. From the first episode, I was immediately locked in. And I don't know if you had this, Robert, but when I was younger, and even in some other movies, there are certain superhero movies where you're like, oh, they're not really in the costume a lot.
Hmm.
They don't do a lot of the superheroing, you know? And sometimes you notice it more than other movies. Nicolas Cage, in the episodes I've watched so far, has probably been in that suit 4 or 5 times in like 6 episodes. And I don't fucking notice. I don't notice because it is so good. Like the storyline that he is doing, the private eye detective stuff that he is doing is so good that every now and then when he does Spider-Man shit, I'm like, "Oh shit, I forgot. You're Spider-Man." Like it's that good. It's very much, like, hey, he doesn't have to be in the suit because he's so good as this character that the character doesn't need to be wearing the mask. If anything, I prefer it when he's not. Um, but just the detective noir style of it. I have been watching it in black and white. It's so good. They all the actors are great. The storyline's great. Nicolas Cage was born for this type of role. I feel like because his Cage isms, they work here in this show in a way that I don't see them working in other projects that he has done. Because he has moments where he's drunk and you're like, oh yeah, he's caging it up right now, but it fits perfectly. There are parts of the show where, and again, not spoiling anything, but there are parts of the show where he's a PI. He's got to lie to people. He's got to pretend to be someone else to get where he wants, and he'll like kind of play another character. And his cageisms come out. And you're like, oh my god, that fits perfectly. Not only in the scene, but in the world, this 1930s New York detective noir style thing. It's so fucking good. And it's one of the few superhero shows where I can confidently say every episode I've seen so far has been better than the last episode. There is no, oh, this is pretty good throughout. It's no, it gets more and more amazing every single time. It's fun. It's really good. I would love to see Nick Cage do this for 3 more seasons, however long his back will let him. But man, it's such a good show. All the actors are great. The spins that they do to some of these different characters that we know from the Amazing Universe into the Noir universe is so fun. Nick Cage, you can tell he had a blast filming this show. I'm excited to finish it and then go back and watch it again in color.
Hmm.
Because I know there's certain things that like everything's black and white. It looks beautiful in black and white. It fits the tone. I know there's certain things I'm probably missing or not seeing how vibrant the world actually is. Now with that being said, my issue with it, and the thing that I think Marvel really, or I'm sorry, Sony really screwed up, again, another Sony mess up, is that it all just dropped in one day. They came in, they said, here you go, here's Spider Noir, and and that's it. The conversation online was for like 3 4 days about maybe if that of Spider-Man Noir. Now nobody's talking about it.
Hmm.
It's come and gone, and this show is fucking prime real estate for a weekly release because each episode is so good. Each episode stands on its own. And me, the episodes are so good. They're a bit longer. I want to say they're like 40 minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that each. And I find myself watching it in between all the things that I'm doing and then going, okay, I'll watch the next episode in a bit. And I almost wish it would have come out weekly. This is a show that we could have been talking about on a weekly basis. We could have been like, oh, what does this mean? Or how is he going to get out of this thing? It's a show prime for that. If this was a mini series for Spider-Man Noir, it's perfect. It's so good. That's my biggest gripe, and I kind of wanted to use that to pivot into the conversation of, I feel like we are past the Netflix model of just dropping everything. At least, like for me, I'm over it. I think it used to be cool, and maybe I'm just old now. Like it used to be cool. I used to stay up all night and binge it all, and it used to be nice to just have it. Now I'm kind of like, man, drip feed it to me, man. Because especially, I think maturing for me at this point is realizing that half the fun of all this shit that we watch and intake is talking about it. That's why a new episode of X Men '97 will come out, and we'll be talking about it all week. You know, a new episode, My Adventure Superman is about to come out. We're going to be talking about that week to week. The Boys comes out. Everybody talks about that week to week. That is part of the conversation. It's part of the momentum. And honestly, it gets more fans involved because they keep hearing people and they're not shutting up about it for 8 weeks. So I feel like this show was primed for that, and we didn't do it. And not only that, the other thing with this show is it has built-in rewatchability because they could have been like, here's episode 1. Oh, I watched it in black and white. Well, while I'm waiting for episode 2, let me watch it in color. Like, it was
Hmm.
all right there, Sony. I don't get it. I don't get it. And sometimes when I think of Robert, oh shit. But yeah, I don't know, Rob. I don't know. How do you? I know you haven't watched Spider-Man Noir yet. I would definitely 100% recommend that you do. But with that being said, how do you feel about the some of the just Netflix style of just dumping a whole show all at once?
Yeah, of course. Before I jump in, I did want to say thank you to Brain in the chat for sending us some gifts. Thank you so much. You don't have to, but we really appreciate it. That's fantastic. Thank you. But first, jumping into that, right, man, I agree with you so much. I even when I was younger, I hated the the binge sort of format. I think it is so. to me it kind of reeks of like no confidence in the project, where it's
Yeah.
kind of like I think of other things that, because this is an Amazon property too, correct? Like it came through Amazon
Yes.
from, yeah.
Yes.
So I think of other Amazon shows, The Boys, Invincible, Fallout, all
Westworld,
these
wasn't it?
Westworld's HBO.
Oh, damn it. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but like those three kind of major tentpole series that comes from Amazon, they do a week by week one. And what do we do? Well, each week we talk about this episode of Invincible. We talk about this episode of The Boys. We talk about this episode of Fallout, and it's awesome because it's like, oh, what's going to happen next week? I agree with you. It drives
Mhm.
that conversation. It brings more people in. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be very difficult for me to watch Spider Noir. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I got Spider-Man tattooed on my body. I'm wearing a Spider-Man shirt right now. If it was a week to week sort of thing, it would be so much easier for me to be able to be like, okay,
Mhm.
cool. I missed two episodes. I can watch these two.
Yeah.
Having to commit to 8 hours of content just automatically immediately, it's like I'll start episode one and I'll see when I get back to this other episode.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like,
It almost makes it less valuable, you know?
yes, it does. Like I say, that it comes from that like lack of confidence in the project that they have. Because to me, it's like sometimes if they're making shows and they're jumping off at one time, it's like, why not just make a movie? Like if you're just gonna drop it all at once, it's just like condense it all into one movie, because it just seems like you don't have the confidence for it.
True.
Does it? Is it like, I don't know.
It's what Mando and Grogu did.
Exactly. They can they did that. Um, I don't know. It really not makes me mad, because it's like it's such a small thing to really give a shit about, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I know some people really love the binge format. I mean, they did that for earlier Stranger Things, right? They just dropped it all at once, and people were like, "Oh, I watched all the Stranger Things in one night," and blah 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 blah. They can have those
But see,
conversations.
is that because, but my thing is, were we all doing that because we really wanted to intake it in 1 8 hour sitting? Or were we doing that because of cultural FOMO? Or were we doing that because we didn't want it spoiled the next day because fucking Jonathan was going to be talking about it?
Hmm.
Because, his parents don't love him, they're working late, and he had nothing to do but sit there until his dad picked him up to take him for the weekend. And he got to watch the whole thing.
Dead ass. No, yeah, like to me, it's like
Fuck Jonathan. No.
it also like it to me it also ruins like the being able to separate each episode, because I think
Mhm.
about when I read comics in a row, I read books in a row, I'm reading all of Wheel of Time right there, and I read three of those books in a row. I couldn't tell you what happened in book one and book three. I
Yeah.
couldn't, like, so to me it's kind of that thing. It's like, okay, if you're gonna binge it, how would you know in that conversation where to stop before you get to spoilers? At least this one's like on a week to week basis. Oh, when did you watch? 2 weeks ago. Oh, okay, yeah, that's this episode and this episode. We can talk about that. I won't talk about whatever. So it,
Yeah.
it brings in that spoiler thing, and I agree. It is that manufactured FOMO that Netflix did, but even Netflix doesn't even do it anymore. They like even with the last episode of Stranger Things, they did it on a week by week basis. They even
Yeah.
split up the season into two different ways. So it's like, why don't you have the confidence to go forward and just drop these things on a week to week basis? Unless that they were afraid of, like, to me, like the only thing I can think about would be like afraid of spending more marketing dollars on it. The more that it's out there, the more you have to market. Hey, this episode's out this week. This episode's out this week. And me working in marketing, I understand that there is a cost per click.
Yeah.
When someone clicks on something, you are paying an extra amount on that, or people view it, you're paying extra on that.
See, but not only that, right? Because I can understand that as well. But like, does the Instagram and Facebook post really going to put you that out of the way? You know what I mean? And also, like, when a new episode comes out and you click onto Amazon at the very fucking top, it goes new episode. Like, that was scary. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Did your lights flicker?
You didn't see that? All my
No.
lights went out. That was
Oh.
craziness. Luckily, my mixer and the camera are their own separate things. So if all of a sudden it goes dark, you're still gonna see me just in the dark. Um, there was we're on tornado warning right now.
Oh, damn.
Dude, yesterday in Chicago proper, there was like trees getting pulled out of the concrete. Anyway, so
Didn't have that in San Antonio.
No, we also didn't have weather.
Sure.
Dude, it was hot the other day. It was like 70 degrees. Um, so
Sounds amazing.
so
I saw it that time.
okay. So anyway,
Sony hates us talking shit about them.
I know. So, but what I was gonna say is that it you can certain shows they are like you said having confidence in and they're doing it like when for example they have Miss Marvel that was coming out week to week, they have Wonder Man coming out week to week, right? No, was Wonder Man dropped all at once?
I think Wonder Man was dropped all at once as well because I
Damn, and
watched it
that's
all
like
on a plane. Yeah.
the best one.
Hmm.
It's crazy because you know what else was dropped out, not at once but in 2 weeks? Ironheart. A little
Still
crazy.
watched
There's a
it.
little bit of
Yeah.
a pattern there. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I think you're absolutely right in the way that we're cutting off the conversation. I get, the marketing stuff behind doing it every week, but Amazon will tell you at the top, hey, new episode out. But the other thing, the only thing I can think of, the only reason that I would think that they threw it out like that was because they didn't want it to line up with Brand New Day, maybe
Hmm.
because then it was going to be out at the same time as Brand New Day. I don't know. But even if that's the case, drop 2 episodes every week and it'd be done before Brand New Day came out. I don't know. It feels like there was a lot of different ways to do this. To give me 2 seconds, Robert.
No, you're good. Yeah, you be careful. You let me know. I'll talk to the chat.
Oh, one
Well,
sec.
Alex is 1v1ing a tornado right now. Feel free to ask me any questions of anything like that and what you feel. I see over here Brian in the chat saying that he agrees that FOMO is fully it. Stranger Things is a perfect example. Yeah, I don't know. Stranger Things to me, also, I'm not the biggest fan of Stranger Things. I've only seen the first 2 seasons of it, and I don't think I'm going to go back and watch it if I'm going to be quite honest. But yeah, to each their own. Hey, are you alive over there?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is in the house that I'm in right now. Do I sound okay or do I sound tinny?
You sound tinny. Yeah.
No way. What did I do? What did I do? Why do I sound tinny all of a sudden? Is it
And I can hear myself on your end.
really
Yeah.
again?
Yeah.
Okay, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Let me see if I can figure this out real quick. Mixer. Okay, does that do anything or no? Nope, that still sounds tinny to me.
Yeah.
Mother trucker. Here. Rob,
Alex.
let me leave because the only thing that happened to me right now is I had a window open so there was airflow
Mm.
and I just had a big old gust of wind and rain just hit me. So let me see. Check mic
Oh,
1 2 3. That sounded
say
better for like a second.
yeah. I was like, oh no.
Hold up. Check mic 1 2 3. Does that sound? Nope. That didn't do it either. One moment. Oh, here. Let me. Oh, check right there. Right there. I don't know. I might need to leave and come back. One sec.
Oh, good. And now it was just us. This is our podcast now. Oh, did you join? No, you didn't. Okay, cool. Oh my god, it is so hot in here, and I hope he's gonna survive this tornado that's going on. I also saw my wife join. Hi, my wife. I was just talking about you.
My wife.
My wife.
Still sound the same.
You sound better, but not as tinny. Still kind
A
of
little better. Not as tinny. A little tinny. Okay, we'll see if it
yeah.
balances out. It
Yeah.
could have been from the denoiser denoising that, and now it's trying to like balance that
Mm,
again. So,
yeah.
but anyway, Rob. Um, yeah, no, it just sucks. I wish they wouldn't have done that shit. And
Yeah.
if you haven't checked out Spider-Man Noir yet, ladies and gentlemen, go check out Spider-Man Noir.
So as of right now, before we jump off to our last topic, if you had to give it a grade, what would you give it so far?
For Spider-Man Noir,
Yeah.
so far, I'm not done, but so far I would give it. I mean, honestly, like an 8 out of 10 so far.
Oh, okay.
So it's very good. It's very good, and honestly, that could easily be a 10 out of 10, depending on how this last episode or last 2 episodes go.
I love to hear it. I can't wait to
Yeah,
finally
I haven't
force
had a
myself to
single
watch it.
complaint. Not
All
not a single
right.
complaint about the show.
Interesting. I can't wait to watch it, and then we can actually have our conversation. Same thing with Masters of the Universe, being able to be like, okay, let me hear what you heard, what you thought about it.
Yeah,
But let's go ahead and jump into our final topic.
tell me.
Two major comics dropped this week. So major that Alex is like, you need to read these two before we talk tonight. And so we are going to be talking about Avengers Armageddon #1 and Absolute Catwoman #1. I think we can talk about Absolute Catwoman first because I think I have the least to say about that. I think that'd be
Okay.
kind of quick. I think Armageddon is probably where we're going to nerd out the most.
Yeah.
So overall, let's just do like a quick 3, 2, 1 grade out of 10 for issue
Okay.
1 of Absolute Catwoman. All right,
Okay.
ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, 6.
10. You're
Wow.
wild, Robert. I
Wow.
think let me start real quick. I think for me,
Uh huh.
this is like the best #1 I've read in a long time.
That's okay.
Um, I think it's so good. It sets the story. It sets the story well. It comes out the gate. It does that thing that the Absolute Universe is really great at right now, which is what am I trying to say? It does that thing that they're really good at, which is turning things on their head, subverting expectations and kind of stripping down characters to their most basic shit. And I feel like this does it very well. I love the Selena Kyle stuff that we're getting right now. I love I don't want to spoil it, but I love the stuff that comes up from her past. I love where we're
Hmm.
going. There's a great action sequence at the end on fucking motorcycles and her little. She has a vehicle that does some really cool shit. It's very Batman esque. And I love it. I love that. I love that we're kind of turning it on the head of like, in the Absolute comics, Bruce Wayne is the blue collar guy who's not super rich, and Catwoman is the one that has more of those things that we're used to seeing Batman with, the resources and stuff. And it's kind of neat that the dichotomy of it all. But I genuinely really liked it. And then over here, Brain over in the comments, the intro was so good, and that ending, oh, I loved it. And the reveal of some other stuff that's going on in this book, I really liked it. This wasn't, this was much better than Absolute Green Arrow #1. I personally think this was better than Martian Manhunter, Absolute Martian Manhunter #1
That's
for me.
crazy.
And I know people love it. I know people love it, but you know, I think since Absolute and I think it's also better than Absolute Superman #1.
Yeah, that one's kind of low for me, if I'm being honest. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think Absolute Batman is probably the one where I'd say Absolute Batman than this one. I just think it's a great #1. It's taken us off, but the biggest thing is it tells a lot of story in this book. It gives us a lot in this book, and at this point, for me, with new #1s, if you're not giving me a lot, the fuck are you doing? Why are you wasting my time? Why am I buying a $5 book and getting 3 set pieces and a total of 15 dialogue bubbles? Like what the fuck? So anyway, that's how I feel. Robert, what did you not like? And please be specific so we understand why you hate women.
I don't hate women. I don't hate this thing. I think like 6 for me is like this is okay. Like this is okay beginning. I think right now I'm having an issue with the Absolute Universe where it's losing a bit of its charm on me at the moment. Really, to me, the only comic book that I've continuously enjoyed from the Absolute Universe is Absolute Wonder Woman. I'm astonished every single time I pick up an issue from Absolute Wonder Woman. It is so fantastic. And I agree with you. There's some really cool stuff in here, and that this does tell the story like boom, 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 boom. Like every page is a different beat, which is very, very cool. But I think I'm on the other side of that, where I'm like, you are giving me way too much in the beginning. Where like it's just like I like a bit of course there is intrigue in this, but I think like there's just like so much that I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. I think it's really cool. I agree that the her being the one that has the cat cave is awesome. I love like the hint of like, oh, like the wild cat. I'm never gonna use that. I'm like, of course, wink wink, you're gonna use it by the end of this issue. As well as I love the calico cats or whatever. Because like the way it starts, it's like I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like that is really cool.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, I'm like, okay, cool. Like this is gonna be another like. Did they say this is going to be another ongoing, or is this a like a 6 issue series? Do you know?
I'm sorry. What was that? Sorry, I was
As,
reading the
as
chat.
no, you're good. Is this going to be another ongoing, or is this like a limited series?
At this point, I think all of them except Martian Manhunter are supposed to be an
Okay.
ongoing. Let me see. Let me double
Yeah,
check.
yeah. If you can double check on that, because to me it feels like the beginning of a limited series. It feels like when I was reading the Wonder Man like 6 issue thing. Yeah. So Brain says in the chat,
Oh
mini for
shoot.
now. It feels like
Oh, it's
that
a
to
mini
me.
for now. Okay.
Yeah, it feels like that. It's like, hey, we have 27 pages, and I got to give you as much information as possible. Which I think is another thing where I'm like, I don't really like mini series a lot. I'm really feeling the solar punk energy from that, where solar punk is like, just give it to me like a full run, which I
Yeah.
100% agree. And um, it didn't feel similar to me like how Scott Snyder writes Batman. The Absolute Batman has felt a little bit differently for me, doing the same thing. I also the globe trotting within like the one sort of page sort of thing. Like I'm here now. I'm in London now. I'm in Italy now. I'm like okay like I don't know. There was just a lot of it to me that I was like so fast, and I'm like okay, slow down, take your breath. I will say that the reveal at the end is very cool, as well as that very end action sequence is very very cool, and that's why I'm saying like this is okay, like this is cool. Will I continue to read it? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe for like collector's sake, I might do it. But I'm already reading so much, and I'm already ingesting so much other stuff that I'm like, I need to cool it for a bit before I think I become cynical of everything else that I'm reading.
I think you're wild. I think you're wild, dude. I think this is so good. And maybe it's just me because I love older comic books. I want as much fucking story as I can. Like, I have read, like, for example, I read a lot of Captain America. I've read Captain America comic books where he's like, I'm in Brooklyn and I need to get to the Avengers. The very next panel, thanks, Tony, for picking me up in the Quinjet. Now we're in New Jersey. And then it's like, and now we've picked up Bruce Banner. Thanks, Bruce Banner, for taking us on the train, and now we're in London somehow. Like, I love that shit. I love, like, get to the point, get to where we're going. Like, I think maybe it's just there's two extremes, right? There's not telling enough story, and then there's telling too much, maybe. I think this is, to me, I think it's perfect what I got in this book. This is not, Batman and Alan Scott sitting in a diner for a whole fucking issue doing absolutely fuck all. Like, I I don't know. That's just me. I really liked it. I will definitely keep reading it because also I would be a hypocrite if I'm not supporting our creators and our characters of different colors, races, and multicultural backgrounds and such. I do want to kind of hit on Brain real quick here in the comments. He's saying the story was good and that ending her story feels real, and I don't know it sounds weird, but I'll explain. Grounding the Rogues Gallery to bring Bruce's childhood friends, so many layers, is kind of CW. Is that what you're saying there?
Yes.
Um, but he also says, or they also say, sorry, love the functions of her suit as well. I think that's one of the coolest parts of the comic. Is
Hmm.
again very much so similar to Absolute Batman. Nothing is for show. Everything is for function.
Hmm.
Love that. It gives me Absolute Batman issue one vibes. So much content for one issue. I agree, and that's what I love about it. And Robert just hates women. So
Then I also want to say that Kelly Thompson is one of the goats.
okay,
Absolutely, dude. She knocks it out of the park. Every single issue. I really really love Absolute Wonder Woman. Did you have anything else to say about Absolute Catwoman before we jump onto Avengers Armageddon?
no, let's jump into Avengers Armageddon.
Alex, I want to do the exact same thing. Avengers Armageddon. Count of three. 1 out of 10. God, I hope that we're around. I'm really interested because I didn't think that we were going to be that far away from each other on Absolute Catwoman.
Okay,
All right,
ready?
ready? 3, 2, 1, 9.
Five.
That's
What?
insane. That is insane. Okay, okay,
What are you
okay.
on about?
Oh my
Okay,
God, this
you go
is
first. You
yeah.
go first.
I think that this is the flip side of the coin that the Absolute Catwoman had an issue for me, where Absolute Catwoman was so boom, 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 boom. This one was like, I love slow talking stuff. give me the information of stuff. And as someone that hasn't been reading, I didn't finish Weapons of Armageddon. I think 2 issues behind of the Captain America storyline. Jumping into this, it really, to me, it was literally like I'm picking up a an event issue for the first time, not knowing anything else. I'm like, okay, I'm getting kind of like all the other stuff. So I don't want to spoil too much because I don't know if other people have uh, got into this book. It did just come out yesterday. I just read it today. But there's a part in there where I texted you something, and you're like, "Oh yeah, you didn't finish reading X Y Z." I'm like, "No, I didn't." But this is a really cool reveal. For me, at least, I am also really loving the New America stuff. I thought that was really really cool.
Mhm.
I love political intrigue. I love like the empty threats from governments being like, we're gonna hold you accountable, and the superheroes like, bro, try us. I love the let's get the band together. To me, it reminded me a lot of like the Wheel of Time books that I'm reading, where it is like, hey, let's slowly go through everything and tell you kind of like what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna jump into the action. And that's like I said, that's the flip side of the coin from Absolute Catwoman, which was like boom, 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 boom. I thought the art was fantastic. I love to see these characters that we are introduced from issues, a brand new character in here. Overall, I enjoyed this one so much. Alex, you said 5. I want to hear this because I know we also had a really big kind of disagreement when it came up to the one of the issues for Captain America. I think it's issue 5 of Captain America as well, where I was like, no, I really enjoyed it, and you're like, it's repetitive, blah
Issue
blah blah.
6,
Issue 6, okay.
when they started the
Um,
new storyline. Yeah, yeah.
yes. So I go ahead, unleash whatever you're thinking.
Robert, I thought this was, the art is great. I'm excited to see the band getting together, like you said. But I thought that this was some of the most backwards ass characterization for a lot of these characters. Um, I I don't like the conveniences that we are overlooking and that we are getting. And I it just like it gets a 5 for me because, and honestly, two of those points are because Sam Wilson's in it. So, I just so first off, let me tell you, and this is a light spoiler. I'm sorry. It would have been a spoiler a fucking week ago, but it's not. Issue 11 of Captain America, Steve Rogers fucking dies and goes to hell with Doctor Doom. And I'm like, oh, cool. What are they going to do? That's crazy. This is wild. There was articles everywhere. He's not dead anymore. It didn't even get a full month. He's not dead. And I was literally telling my wife yesterday. She was like, what are you excited the most about picking up? And I was like, Avengers Armageddon, because Steve Rogers is dead. Sam Wilson's in this one. It's the culmination of the Weapons of Armageddon stuff I've been reading and all that, and she was like, "Oh, he's dead right now," and I was like, "Yeah, but it's comics. That's not gonna fucking last." And it didn't even take a month. He's in a coma now. He was dead. He had rebar through him. Shut up. So anyway, it was thundering. So I thought that was fucking dumb. I was like, okay. Don't even give us a month. That's okay. Okay. Maybe wrong of me to assume that Captain America with rebarb through him, with rubble on him, and everyone looking at him like he was dead meant that the fucker was dead. So anyway, my bad. The next thing that happens is everyone gets the band back together, and Tony's like, "Oh, I have a predictive thing that I'm watching the whole world, and it's telling me potential threats," and everybody's telling Tony about how that could be bad, and he's talking about all these safeguards, you know. Civil War 2 was about how Tony didn't like that Captain Marvel was using an inhuman that was using like percentages and shit to determine if something was going to be an issue in the future. And that was the whole point of that fucking story. And it's a cliff note on here, and everybody went, yeah, that makes sense. Outside sounds so scary right now while I'm yelling, honestly. And anyway, I was like, the fuck is going on here? So, and I understand. That's little nerdy shit that I'm sweating over because it's fucking stupid. But also, I'm over this number one bullshit of nothing happening. They said, don't get involved, superheroes. And I was like, perfect. Give me the next page where all the superheroes are together because they're going to get involved. I don't need to know how they go up to everybody and talk to everybody about getting involved. I don't need this Transporter 2 A Team Expendables bullshit where everyone's all like, I'm retired. Like, no, just they're there. Just put them together and have them do something. The David Colton stuff, is that cool? Hella cool. So cool. So cool. It doesn't make up for the rest of the nothing that happened here.
I think I disagree with a couple of different things,
How dare
especially
you? Go ahead.
because, like I said, I'm not caught up with a lot of stuff. I didn't even read any of Civil War two. But I just think that they kind of take care of the Tony Stark thing kind of quickly for me, where and they did it very well with Spider Man. Where everyone the entire time was like, "Hey, like that's really bad." He's like, "No, no." To me, that just shows how much of a hypocrite Tony is. Tony is a hypocrite, and then they even like doubled down on it later on, where like Tony is like, "Hey, you're coming with us, right?" And Spider Man's like, "No, like if everyone is going, no one's thinking of the little guys. Like I'm gonna stay here." And then Tony was like, "Okay, but if Cap asked you to come, would you come?" And he was like, "Yeah, no offense." And to me, that's just like, hey, Tony is not a good guy. He always will he'll talk his shit, and then he'll be like, "What you're doing is bad, but when I do it, it's fine." And that's always been Tony Stark for me, no matter what. So that's why that didn't bother me too much because especially they're really hammering it. It's like 5 panels worth of stuff that they're like, Tony, you shouldn't do that. And he's like, no, I set parameters. And they're like, but that's not. And he's like, no, but I did it, so it's fine. He's like, that's just like the hubris of Tony Stark for me.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bother me too much. The David Colton stuff, I'm hearing myself really bad on your
Are
end.
you really?
Yeah. But the David Colton stuff, hella cool. The Wolverine stuff, hella cool. To me, everything in here was kind of needed because I like I said, maybe this is just like the two different kind of stories that we really enjoy. That I love a slow burn. I love we're sitting around a campfire, we're talking about traumas or whatever, and we're talking about X, Y, and Z. Like, hey, why don't you want to join? Blah blah blah. Hey, especially if this is a team up issue, especially because people like me didn't read X, Y, and Z. Hey, I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. I think that's the main sort of thing, especially that you have to take into account for team up issues. It's like not everyone is us reading every single thing that is coming around. So you do unfortunately need those panels. I'm thinking back to Secret Wars 2 that I was reading. It's like it is dragged out so much, but it's because each one of these issues is so important because it's like they cannot participate in this issue because of this reason. So to me, it doesn't bother me. That's always like the comic book isms of like, hey, we unfortunately have to take a lot of time out of this to talk about X, Y, and Z. So do I agree with specific things? Absolutely. But I think that it is an unfortunate, necessary thing for the readers that are not going to be here on a week to week basis.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I had muted myself. Anyway, I hear you, Robert. I think you're wrong. No, I guess for me, it feels like there's an easier solution. The easier solution, don't fucking explain it. Just do it. Is a new reader going to come in and be like, nah, dude, listen.
No, man, no.
No, we come in, we see Ross taking over Latveria, making it New America. We have the page where Mr. Fantastic's being told by the secretary or whatever the hell she was not to get involved. Next page, everyone's involved. Everyone's together. That's where you do Spider-Man's thing where he's hung up. Then we can still see the General Ross stuff. We get Colton. Great. We've done it. I didn't need to see Rogue saying why they're not getting involved. I didn't need to see any of that. Because that shit could have been like, they're walking away and Wolverine's all like, sorry, I'm the only one who could come with you. The other X-Men got other shit going on. That's all I needed. I didn't need a whole scene of written out shitty Texas
New Orleans.
dialect.
Let's
What?
Oh no, I thought you were talking about like cutting the Texas, but no, like, they're in New Orleans. But yeah,
No,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Rogue's little like, I can't do it, sugar. Like shit. Like I don't know. I didn't need that. I guess for me, it just feels like, is it cool to see Rogue? Yeah. Did I need to see Rogue? No. Could we have explained Spider-Man's inhibitions to get involved to set him up to have not been on the journey so he can be in the new Avengers when everyone ultimately dies? Because that's what they're alluding to later. Yeah. I
I
didn't
don't
need
know.
3 pages of it. I don't know. I
To me,
guess
that's like, hey, don't worry about the rest of the MCU. You can start an Endgame. Like, no, you can't do that. I'm sorry. Like, of course, like there are like there is
can't you?
parts of what's up.
Can't you?
No, I mean like you could, but you're not
Robert,
going to get the same emotional
do the
impact.
box office numbers. Not everyone that saw Captain America or Iron Man
Yes, but they
or
saw the
Captain Marvel
majority of the
saw the.
MCU.
I don't think so because
That is
Captain
wild.
Marvel made
That is
like
wild.
$700 million, maybe, and Doomsday made $1 billion. That's a lot more. So I just, I'm just, and even, and you're the perfect example. How many people aren't caught up or didn't read the other stuff and they're jumping into Armageddon? Did I need the explanation?
I did.
Did I need? I don't.
I
I
did.
don't know. But maybe that's the different perspective. I'm like, I've been reading this shit, and you're rewarding me by slapping me in the face with your wet noodle.
Because
Like,
unfortunately, the comics, like these team up comics, are not just for like they're for everyone, and like it's like you need to unfortunately hold the hands of everyone to start it off. I think issue 2 is going to be fantastic, but I think that's just an issue that you're going to have with team up number ones.
okay, Robert, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I'm just going to tell you you're incorrect. Um, but Robert, we should do this. We should do this next week.
We should. We should do this next week, and every day that you, every Thursday that you're not being currently attacked by a tornado.
I know. I'm looking outside right now. Oh, actually, no. It looks good. A moment ago, like I can actually see the neighbor's house, but a moment ago I can only see tree. But tree is about 5 feet that way. So I was a little concerned about how I was seeing so much tree. Um. But anyway. But yes, Robert. I'll see you next week, same time.
Same time, 6 o'clock, CST.
Perfect.
All right,
Something like that.
and I'll see you.